Hello students, in this video session I shall cover up digital filter design using impulse invariant transformation. Some theoretical backgrounds regarding impulse invariant transformation you already have got through our previous videos. Let us solve a numerical example. Design a digital low pass filter is required to meet the following specifications. 20 log h omega at omega is equal to 0.2 pi must be greater than or equal to minus 1.93 decibel. 20 log h omega at omega is equal to 0.6 pi must be less than or equal to minus 13.9794 decibels. Filter must have maximally flat characteristics. Use impulse invariant transformations with t is equal to 1 second. That's what is given. Now you please note that when data is given like this, anyway different types of the data can be given. See, you have to recognize initially four things. What is passband edge frequency and corresponding gain Kp, stopband edge frequency omega s and stopband gain Ks. These four values are very important. You should be very accurate in recognizing them. See here omega p is here. It is recognized as 0.2 pi. And what is Kp? Kp is given as minus 1.93 decibel. Similarly, omega s is given as 0.6 pi here. See, it is there. It is given here 0.6 pi. I have written again. And what is Ks? Or gain or attenuation, what we call in stop band, it is minus 13.9794 decibels. If you want, you can draw a proper characteristic also. 0.2 pi minus 1.93, 0.6 pi minus 13.9794. See, these four data to be written. Once you wrote down the data, you should recognize whether it is there in proper fashion or not. See, Kp and Ks, they are in decibels. That is correct. They should be there in decibel. It is there in decibels. It's all right. Now omega p and omega s, they are there in digital domain. 0.2 pi radians, 0.6 pi radians. They are given as W values. I shall call it as W in digital domain. W as 0.2 pi radians. Now once you recognize these four data, let us start solving this example. Okay. You know there are three steps in digital filter design. Step 1, what we call is initial step. In your bilinear transformation, you have used pre-warping step or initial step, what we call here, isn't it? Now in case of impulse invariant transformation, what happens is the analog filter and the digital filter are related with omega is equal to W by T. Theoretical background, you look into previous videos. Okay, omega is equal to W by T, W by 2, where W is digital domain filter, omega is analog domain filter. Now using this initial step, what I do is W is given to me. I shall convert it into omega. How I do? Omega p is equal to WP divided by T. All these values are given. WP is 0.2 pi divided by 1 second, isn't it? Hence it is 0.2 pi. Similarly, omega s is equal to Ws by T, that is 0.6 pi divided by 1, it is 0.6 pi. Okay. Now corresponding Kpks values are available to you. Kp is equal to minus 1.93 decibels and Ks is minus 13.9794 decibels. These values are correct. These two values are correct. Nothing to apply there. Here a small change is there. What change you had done in case of bilinear transformation? Can you recall? In bilinear transformation, omega p is equal to 2 by t tan w by 2 formula you had used. But here it is very simple formula, w by t formula you have to apply. Hence you are using this and converting digital filter design specifications back into analog filter specifications. Now step 1, initial step is over. Step 2, after initial step I shall write down for anyway omega p is equal to 0.2 pi, kp is equal to minus 1.93 decibel, and omega s is equal to 0.6 pi, and ks is equal to minus 13.9794 decibel. This is what is my answer after first step. I ask generally students to box these answers, but they have to follow that. Now step 2. What is step 2? Step 2 is analog filter design. Okay, I shall use step 1 here, Roman. Okay, step 2, I will be using step 2, analog filter design. Okay, in analog filter design there are 5 steps. First, order. See, order n, I have to use Butterworth. Okay, I have to use Butterworth filter. This is flat specifications are given, hence Butterworth filter design. N is equal to, you know that, log 10 raised to minus 0.1 kp minus 1 whole divided by 10 raised to minus 0.1 ks minus 1 whole divided by 2 log omega p by omega s. You already well versed with this. I have already applied this. I will not waste any time in solving this by applying the numericals given here. N has come out to be 2. You can verify with your calculator. Second step. What is the second step? Pole position. Isn't it? Pole position. How you will pole position? You will be using theta k is equal to pi by n into k plus pi by 2n plus pi by 2. And you can find that in case of pole positions you got k is equal to 0 and 1 and n is equal to 2, hence theta naught is equal to 135 and theta 1 is equal to 225. Okay, you got this, theta naught and theta 1. Now if you want you can put those poles also. Okay, in S domain you can put those poles with a unit circle. You please note that in the case of Butterworth filter you need to have a unit circle, and then on unit circle you should supposed to recognize 2 poles here, S0 and S1. Now what is S0? S0 is equal to e raised to j theta naught, isn't it? E raised to j theta naught, which is equal to cos 135 plus j sin 135. It comes out to be minus 0.707 plus j 0.707. Similarly, S1 comes out to be minus 0.707 minus j 0.707. These two becomes complex conjugate roots. S0 and S1. I have completed pole positions, isn't it? S0 and S1 I have recognized in case of. What is third step? Third step is filter transformation, filter transfunction. It is filter transfunction. Transfer function h of s. How to find h of s? H of s is equal to 1 divided by s minus s0 s minus s1. You have already done the second order filter, hence I will not waste any time. It comes out to be s square plus 1.414 s plus 1. This is h of s. Now what is fourth step? Critical frequency. It is critical frequency. How you will find critical frequency? It is given by omega c is equal to omega passband edge I will take divided by 10 raised to minus 0.1 kp minus 1 whole raised to 1 by 2n. Please note that it is 1 by 2n. Answer comes out to be, you can verify, 0.7255. 0.7255. Now I have to go to fifth step. What is fifth step? Fifth step is about transformation, low pass to low pass transformation. We shall go to fifth step. I will go to next board. Okay, let us continue to the next board where I am there in step 2. In step 2, fifth step, where I have supposed to do the transformation. What kind of transformation? Low pass filter to low pass filter transformation. What is the meaning of this? In previous step you got h of s. Instead of h of s, there no, instead of s I will be substituting s by omega c, where omega c value also you got it as 0.7255, isn't it? Hence h of s, which is equal to 1 divided by s square plus 1.414 s plus 1, which is there. Now here I will be substituting instead of s by omega c, s by 0.7255 square plus 1.414 s by 0.7255 plus 1. Obviously this square goes to the numerator and it becomes 0.7255 square whole divided by s square plus 1.414 into 0.7255 into s plus 0.7255 square. Finally h of s, which results here, is given by 0.5264 square of this whole divided by s square plus 1.025 s plus 0.5264. This is the analog filter transfer function. Analog filter h of s. I got analog filter h of s. Okay, this is the answer at step 2. Answer of the step 2. Let us move into step 3, where analog to digital filter transformation is done. Okay, here what I am doing is h of s, whatever is there, h of s, I am converting it into h of z. I am converting it into h of z using what? Using impulse invariant transformation. Using impulse invariant transformation. Given t is 1 second. Okay, previously you have applied bilinear transformation. What you used to do in bilinear transformation? In h of s equation, wherever s is there you used to substitute 2 by t, 1 minus z raised to minus 1 divided by 1 plus z raised to minus 1. Here it is different. I have to use impulse invariant transformation. Let me write h of s first. H of s is equal to, in previous board I have given it, I have taken a fresh board now, 5264. That's why I am writing h of s again. S square plus 1.025 s plus 0.5264. Okay, here I have written h of s. Now this h of s I have to write corresponding h of z. See, this h of s, whatever I have written now, it is in the standard form very nearly equal to b divided by s plus a whole square plus b square. For that reason I just write here instead of this s square plus 2as plus a square plus b square. This theoretical background is given in the previous video session. Anyway, if you compare, 2a becomes equal to 1.025 and a square plus b square becomes equal to 0.5264, right? 2a is this and hence a becomes equal to 1.025 divided by 2, hence it is 0.5125, and I put a value here and find out b. This implies me B value becomes equal to 0.5136. Hence I got both A and B values. See, in impulse invariant transformation there is a standard formula. What is the standard formula? Standard formula says that if h of s is known to you, which is of the kind b divided by s plus a whole square plus b square, this implies me that h of z will be, what should be h of z? H of z will be e raised to minus at z raised to minus 1 sin bt whole divided by 1 minus 2 e raised to minus at z raised to minus 1 cos bt plus e raised to minus 2 at z raised to minus 2, isn't it? This is the standard form. Why I am using this standard form? Because h of s, whatever is there, no? H of s is of the kind something constant. I shall take it as b divided by s plus a whole square plus b square. Find, I can write this. Hence, what I do here is I will write first h of s. H of s. How I will write is, I will first write the denominator. You please see, s plus a is 0.5125, s plus a whole square plus b square 0.5136 whole square. Here I should write b, correct? I will write it 0.5136, b divided by s plus a whole square plus b square. Denominator okay, but there is 0.5264 here, but I have written 0.5136. This is not correct, isn't it? There must be some multiplying factor. What should be the multiplying factor? So as to find that multiplying factor, very simple, 0.5264 divided by 0.5136, it becomes 1.025. 1.025. Okay, you see now, this is a standard formula. What is the corresponding h of z? You know, corresponding h of z is this, isn't it? Hence I will use this standard formula so as to find out h of z. This implies me that h of z correspondingly must be equal to that 1.025 I have written as it is. Next, 0.5136 is a standard b divided by type. Hence, e raised to minus a is 0.5125, t is 1, e raised to minus at, z raised to minus 1, sin bt, b is 0.5136 into t is 1 second, okay, whole divided by 1 minus 2 e raised to minus at minus 0.5125, t is 1, z raised to minus 1, sin cos b is 0.5136 bt plus e raised to minus 2 a 0.5125, z raised to minus 2, right? Hence h of z I have written. I have to evaluate this and I should simplify this, that's all. H of z is equal to 1.025 into e raised to minus 0.125, shift ln minus 0.5125 is equal to 0.5989 into z raised to minus 1 into sin b t. B here 0.5136, isn't it? Sin 0.5136. Please keep it in mind that 0.5136 is in radians. Hence you can take it into radians mode. That means 2. Hence sin 0.5136 is equal to 0.4913 whole divided by 1 minus 2 e raised to minus 0.125. It is already found, 0.5989, z raised to minus 1 into cos 0.5136, cos 0.5136 0.871 plus e raised to minus 2 into 0.5125. Shift LAN answer 0.3588 z raised to minus 2. Okay, hence you multiply these all and get me the answer. Okay, you will get the answer as 0.3016 z raised to minus 1 whole divided by 1 minus 1.043 z raised to minus 1 plus 0.3587 z raised to minus 2. That's what is h of z. I found finally the answer h of z using impulse invariant transformation. Okay, impulse invariant transformation in step 3. Okay, what was the technique here? Technique was very simple. B divided by s plus a whole square plus b square is transformed into h of z using the standard formula. Hence the previous video which is there, it is very important. You should know that b divided by s plus a whole square plus b square can be transformed into h of z, which is equal to e raised to minus 80 z raised to minus 1 sin bt divided by 1 minus 2 e raised to minus 80 z raised to minus 1 cos bt plus e raised to minus 2 80 z raised to minus 2. Okay, this is very important. I hope you understood what I had done in this. If there any doubts are there in this transformation, you can ask me. The same technique can be applied for Chebyshev filters also. Anyway, I will solve one examples corresponding to Chebyshev filter and I will post that video. Okay, thank you. You can solve one assignment on this. I will give an assignment on this. Please solve and post it to me. Thank you.